All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. Rock Cave's kind of under construction right now with a ton of stuff in here, but anyway, we are kind of tight. What are we talking about today? Wednesday, Wanderlust Wednesday. Another Wednesday is upon us. This band, I'm excited about this band because I heard this song, one of these songs, in the car the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, we were going to do a full episode on them because they got mentioned as a group of artists, I think in season one when I did Canada Day, and then someone said, Mike Murray, I think you said they deserve their own show, and I think you're right on that. So we're going to talk about the band Triumph. Who remembers the band Triumph? I know some of you know the band, although some of you might be familiar with a few of their songs and have no idea who they are. This band out of Toronto formed in 1975. We are talking hard rock band that just was a monster, especially in Canada, especially in the late 70s and through the 80s. They have 10 studio albums, 4 live albums, 18 gold, 9 platinum. They were nominated for Juno's Group of the Year. That's basically the Canadian version of a Grammy. They were nominated for Group of the Year in 1979, 85, 86, 87. Just couldn't break through, but that's just how big they were. They had a couple of guys in there that brought progressive rock influences, and then someone that had some classical music influences, and that's what their music was. It was heavy, guitar-forward driven music with those other two elements in them. And basically, rock critics don't know what to do with prog bands or hard rock bands or a mixture of the two. Rolling Stone magazine called them a faceless band. Now, I've said it before, growing up, I got Rolling Stone magazine all through my teenage years and all through college. I got all of those, and I very rarely agreed with their critics. Albums I loved, they hated. Albums they loved, I didn't care for. That was a good general rule. We didn't agree a lot. Maybe that's not why I'm not a rock critic. Who knows? Maybe I just have terrible taste. Who knows? But anyway, very early on, 1978, they were playing festivals, and they played a Canada Jam in August of 1978 in front of 110,000 people. Pretty amazing. But anyway, that's a typical story. Singles started picking up steam. By their third album in 79, there was a song called Hold On that got some attention in various markets around the United States. For some reason, St. Louis was one of those for that song. And then the second single off of that one is Lay It On the Line. That one went to number 86 in the United States, only 86. But that's one of their most recognizable songs to this day. That's the one you'll hear on classic rock radio. AOR will play that to this day. And maybe you think it's like Night Ranger or someone like that when you hear it. You probably don't know it's Triumph. You probably think it's someone else, right? But that's a great song. That's a great song. That was their second single off that third album. And then 81, 40 years ago, they put out Allied Forces. And I don't know that I heard it then. I probably didn't hear the song then. But that's one of the albums I went back to. That was 1 million copies in the United States, charted at number 23. It was their highest charting album in the United States. And that had Fight the Good Fight on it, but then it had Magic Power on it, number 51. And that one, what a song that one is. And that one is the song that we went back to that we would hear after hearing this next record. But Magic Power is up there for songs you might know from them. And then in 1983, the single A World of Fantasy, that's where we come in. John White, if you're listening, remember we were obsessed with Triumph at this point, and this song, A World of Fantasy, so good, and it just demonstrates all the things I've been talking about: prog, classical, heavy rock. And it's just in his voice. I mean, some people might have thought this was Rush. I don't know. But this was the height of popularity for us, because we would go back in the catalog and listen to these songs. And then in they got a new label and a new producer. Their music was getting more and more complicated. It was getting harder to replicate live. They were struggling a little bit. They put out Thunder 7 in 1984. CD only at first. Curious move on their part. 1984, people were not converted over to CDs yet. I got my first CD player in 1986, and I was an early CD player owner. So they went back and they said, we need more exposure. We're going to release this on cassette and vinyl, which they finally did. But Thunder 7 had Spellbound and Follow Your Heart, also decent songs to listen to from Triumph. On a side note, the band is noted for its charitable work throughout its existence, doing all kinds of charities. They did a Toronto Maple Leafs charity. They gave a lot back, so they are known for that as far as a band is concerned. But they deserve their due here in the Rock Cave. They may not have won those Junos, but they get a shout out here in the cave. I mean, that's better than a Juno, right? So you're listening to Triumph today. Pull out one of those collections, the top songs by them, and give a listen and tell me what you think. On Wednesdays I don't necessarily pick a song of the day because I usually present more than one to you. But all the ones I named, I can't even, as far as World of Fantasy, Magic Power, you just can't really go wrong with any of those. Laying on the Line, those three right there are the tops for me, of course. So check those out and tell me if you remember them and if you remember who the band is. We're at almost 7 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up. Hope you're doing well, whatever you're doing today. And don't forget to listen to music today. Have a good one, and as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.
Don't waste my time.